This is a review for a pair of custom-made NYX officer boots. I just want to get this out of the way real quick and I will jump right into the review. I have never made a YouTube video review. This is not something I do in my free time, nor do I want to continue to do it. However, NYX has offered a giveaway of a pair of boots for customers who've bought their boots, I think in July or whatever. And they asked folks to make a 2-minute long, at least, video that is honest. Well, I will do my best. At any rate, to make a long story very short at first, I'm very satisfied with these. They are incredibly high quality, incredibly well-made, handmade boots. I have never owned a pair of stitch-down construction boots. I've got a couple of pairs of storm welted boots and Goodyear welted boots, but nothing that quite compares to the workmanship of this. They're pretty impressive. So in general, my first impressions upon getting them were that the leather is very, very thick. I'm not sure how well I can impress that on you, but it's you know, it's not bonded or anything like that except where the tongue is, which is, you know, no other way to do that. But at any rate, the leather is super, super thick, which makes them a bear to break in. But I think that's to be expected considering the fact that if you watch one of these other guys' reviews on here, if you cut the boots in half, the whole thing is just made of leather. Anyway, I'll talk more about that later. I've had these for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks now, something like that. Apart from that, the stitching is remarkably even. Not only given that these are handmade, but given the fact that at a base price, I think they cost about $535. Excepting the welt, all the stitching in here is almost perfectly even. There are no spots on this boot where I could criticize the craftsmanship. It's very, very impressive for what they cost. And in general, I think it's a really good value. If you want to replace a pair of boots that you really enjoyed, I think NYX is a good option if you're willing to shell out some money and you want to have those boots resold and you want to be able to reuse them. And then eventually, you know, after you've had them resold a couple of times, you can send them back to NYX and they'll rebuild them for you, which is really kind of, that's what sold me on this. Apart from that, I got the Vibram mini lug, and I'll talk a little more about the options I was looking for initially and why I ended up going with this. But I'm very satisfied with that. Walking around in it, it's you know, it's got plenty of traction, but it doesn't get in my way. I'm not tripping over giant lugs or anything like that. I'm even impressed with the laces. Even the laces are easier. I've never had a pair of rawhide laces on a pair of boots, and I like them. They're easy to tie. They stay tied because they're waxed. The wax kind of keeps them in place, which is nice. Apart from that, I think the rest of the review is going to be about my experience with NYX, their customer service, and what it's like to actually break a pair of these in. And you know, that's sort of incomplete because I've only had them for a short while. So the reason I ended up getting these, principally, is because I wanted to replace a pair of these. Now these are Corcoran jump boots. They are patterned after a World War II model pair of American paratrooper boots. And when I wanted a pair of combat boots back in college, which is about 5 years ago, these are what I ended up going with. They were about $150 or so. And I've had them resold numerous times. They were never high quality. They were, you know, they were always sort of a means to an end, something that I could shine up, and they were relatively comfortable with a pair of insoles in them. But eventually, here's what happened to them. Well, maybe it's the other one. Okay, here's what happened to them. And there is no way my cobbler could fix this. Now, I know there is a guy who does that. He's on YouTube, but frankly, the upper is just so trashed from me living in Vermont and you know, getting snow and ice and salt all over them that I decided it was time to ditch these guys and move on to something better. I really liked this pair of boots. I mean, I've had them for probably 7-8 years. They were my go-to for concerts because, like, if somebody steps on your toe, they won't break your toe in these. But they've served their purpose and they're done. I did want another pair of combat boots which looked relatively similar. You know, it had the toe cap and the kind of high top, and that is why I ended up going with the Knicks. Now, the process of breaking these guys in, like I said, is difficult. That being said, if you get them properly fitted, at least they fit your foot like a glove. I was really impressed. I was concerned because I had never trusted my Brannick device measurement. I've never actually put my feet in a pair of shoes that were my Brannick device size that fit. Most of my shoes are size 12. These are a size 10.5, which is my Brannick device measurement size, and they fit like a glove. They're perfect. I went through the whole fit kit thing, and you know, if you don't need to do it, if you know your Brannick device size and you trust it at least a little bit, I don't recommend doing it. It makes the whole process take more time. What I would recommend is getting a pair of their boots made in your Brannick device size, because that will shorten the length of time it will take to get your boots. That being said, in terms of the fit process, it was really easy. Knicks was very, very helpful. I mean, whenever I called them, you know, whether it was to deal with a shipping issue or something like that, I moved around during the process. They were super helpful. I never waited more than an hour or so for a call back if somebody didn't pick up the phone, and that was a rare case. For the most part, during working hours, they had somebody there, and they were always very helpful. They could answer any questions I had. So the fit process was great. If you're not confident about your Brannick device size, I think you should try it out. Let's see, apart from that. These cost me about $600 all said and done. I also bought a belt from Knicks, and let me tell you, this is the most sturdy belt I have ever even seen. You know, obviously sizing on this camera is nearly impossible, but this is probably a 7 or 7.5 millimeter thick belt. It's at least 1/4 of an inch thick. It's really intense. I'm going to have some trouble breaking this thing in. But I'm very impressed and I'm very satisfied with it. I mean, it goes with the leather jacket I wanted it to go with. And the brass is beautiful quality. I mean, like, you know, eventually it will tarnish really nicely. And it's just really great. I'm very impressed with this. It was a $70 belt. Keep that in mind. I don't know what y'all like spending on belts. I don't even know what to spend on a belt. Anyhow. Apart from that, so their customer service was excellent. Let's see. Did I forget to? Oh, okay. A couple of very small cons that I would recommend you think about. If you're looking, like me, to replace a pair of Corcoran jump boots or another pair of, like, you know, 10-inch to 12-inch tall combat boots, these are only made 8 inches tall. Knicks does not, as far as I know, because I did ask them, make them any taller. I would have preferred a 10-inch pair of boots. Now, they sent me a try-on pair of boots, which was a pair of Builder Pros. The Builder Pros are bigger and stiffer than the boots that I got, and they weren't quite as comfortable. That being said, if you're looking for a pair of work boots, I mean, they were incredible. They were huge and just, like, very, very well constructed, and the leather was impressive. The rough out they're using is fantastic. It's super thick and very tough, and it's oiled. So those Builder Pros were 10-inch or maybe even 12-inch boots. And, you know, this is my only gripe about the option available there, was that, you know, they can make those custom and they won't make these guys any taller than they are here. That being said, having worn them around for a little while, I don't really care anymore. Not a big deal. Another thing that I no longer care about, but was a little like, why not, back then, was that this is the, like, luggiest sole they have available for a pair of officer boots. Now, I understand why. Typically, a pair of combat boots does not have, like, you know, unless you're getting, like, jungle boots from Vietnam, it doesn't have, you know, really a big lug sole. They're going for kind of a classic look. And I think you know, when I ordered them, I would have ordered a pair of lug soles with these boots, which Nix does have, but they don't put them on these boots. And I am actually glad that they did not make that option available to me, because I think they would have looked really stupid with lug soles on them, and it's not necessary. I mean, these things are really grippy, very comfortable, and you know, it's a widely available kind of sole. You know, it's not like one of the pairs of soles that they put on their firefighter boots. Apart from that, my one other con, and this is really nitpicky, the pair of laces I got with these boots are chocolate. They are not black. You cannot see unless you look really up close, and I probably can't show you. Yeah, you can't even see with the camera. They look black. I have not. It bothers me so little that I have not called Nix to tell them about it. So that is my ultimate review of these boots. I'm very, very impressed. Very happy with the purchase. I will buy more of their boots. You know, despite the significant break-in period. And I mean, if they fit you right, it's a tough break-in, but you're not going to be covered in blisters unless you've got much softer skin on your feet than I have. And I am, you know, I think these fit so properly that, you know, as tired as my feet might be after, you know, 5-6 hours in them, you know, them being only a couple weeks old, they are not injured. They're just tired because, you know, it's really stiff. Like, I can't, you know, the other ones I could bend in half, right? I can't do that with these. Like, this is about as much as I can bend them. Yeah, no, they're stiff. But you know, overall wrap up, quality, fantastic. Would I buy them again? Yes. Would I get another pair custom made? Yes, I would. Just, you know, it was very easy. And I'm very impressed with the quality. And, you know, unless you get a pair of Westcos, you're not going to get anything like this, and they will be much more expensive. So unless you're insistent on, you know, having horsehide boots, I would get a pair of Nix. I think this is the best bang for your buck if you're in that, you know, $500-600 price range and you want a pair of boots that are stitched down. It's a super, super impressive pair of boots. Have a good day, guys.